Hey folks, Steve here with a very special video for you today. We're going to be unboxing Red Strike, Air, Land, and Naval Combat in Central Europe, 1989. This is published by VUCA Simulations, and this is a bit of a surprise unboxing. I'm here still at Game On Convention 2024, and I managed to win this as a door prize. So if you attend, there's a random drawing for prizes, and prizes have come from GMT, the variety of different publishers, and not even just the war game space, given this is not just a war game convention, games that are up for grabs when your name gets called for the prize drawing, and my name got called up, and I managed to snag the last copy of Red Strike that was there on the table. There was more than one. So I managed to grab this. I wasn't sure if I would get this game or when I would get this game, just because it's a big, beautiful package that has a premium price tag on it. And the designers actually here at the convention, they were playing Red Strike here at the convention over the course of a couple of days. So I managed to snag this, and I'm going to take the shrink off and peruse its contents here since I'm at the convention and I have a little bit of time to work with. So I have to maybe set the camera down for a second, but we're going to get this shrink wrap off. The box is gigantic, by the way, like a hand span, and there's a bunch of great stuff here. You can just take a quick glance at it, but this is a sizable game. It's got a little bit of, maybe this is why it was up for a prize. It's got a couple of scuff marks and such on the box, but I don't care about that. Still very beautiful, beautiful box. So I'm gonna have to set the camera down. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm gonna be away from my computer, so I can't do a full meal deal video editing, quality video, but this is the very first thing out of the box. This is, again, very deep box. This scenario book. So Red Strike, scenario book, listing of the NATO unit illustrations, and just kind of see here content. So there are exercise scenarios, battle scenarios, campaign scenarios, and this is set up, at least my understanding is, to be able to play smaller learning scenarios, these exercise scenarios, and work your way up to the medium-sized battles and the big campaign scenarios, all of which have kind of, like a lot of these hypothetical Third World War games, have a kind of a different setting, dress around what the scenario actually is. You can see there's a lot, fair number of scenarios here, and lots of rules, examples all the way through this book. Air playthrough, ground playthrough of a battle, designer's notes, publisher's notes, all of which are important stuff. I love to read those things. Just to get a look at the content, the paper is glossy, so it does feel nice. You can see the text is given in what looks like three column full color coverage, with 3 columns just because you could fit 3 columns of text, but a lot of that space is used for these charts dictating the setup information and where things are at here. So all very nice to look at here. You can see this placement of different markers, victory points, the number of battles won, supply points, which will be a factor. I'm sorry, there's a little bit of a shadow due to the lighting in this room that I'm using that just happens to be empty. My understanding is this game can be played where, if you want to, you can just do the air and naval stuff, I believe. And here we get into the campaign scenarios. So a lot of cool stuff showing up immediately in here. Nice art, cool art, nice graphics of the game to give you kind of a sense of what is supposed to be happening. I think we're starting to get into the examples of play, of which, again, there is a very large number of examples of play, which it's going to be really, really useful for learning the game. Just a lot of stuff here. Designer notes. I'm going to be reading all this stuff. So that's a pretty decent sized 46, 48 page scenario book. Then we have the rule book itself. I like the juxtaposition of the red background, blue background there. This looks like 2-column format, so same paper quality, glossy, and plenty of images to accompany the text, even small examples, which is always good to see. And I don't think this game may not be super complicated. It is based off of the old Gulf Strike, Aegean Strike systems from way back. I have a copy of Gulf Strike. I do not have a copy of Aegean Strike. And so here are some advanced game rules using the strategic map, neutral countries, all the air war mechanics, all that. And that clocks in, we're looking at 50, well, with the index and all that, 50-some pages. So not the thickest rule book, but not the thinnest rule book either. Now there's a lot of things that are going to be in here, guys, so just by the by, this is going to be, I'm going to have to gloss over this very quickly. There's a player aid booklet here that has terrain effects chart, information on the action stages, ground combat. It does look like there's 2 of these, so lots of chart support in the game, in the box, a lot to absorb. We're not going to be able to do that at a huge length. Terrain effects. And we have these cards. I believe these are optional. These are strategy cards that can affect various game things, like Yugoslavia enters the war against NATO. Things like that are in the cards. I don't know the full extent of that. We do have what looks to be, yeah, these are sheets that you can rip off and keep track of air defense hits. You would probably want a photocopy because you would maybe eventually run out, but you still have a sizable number of these sheets. So how many times you're going to use up a sheet, who knows. Other cards, this looks like this is the NATO deck as compared to the Warsaw Pact deck. There's some game turn track markers. These are nice, like glossy things that look like you just lay out next to the game maps. Another sort of side mounted game track for air combat resolution. And then we get into these scenario maps, and I'll just say, without going into too deep a detail on here, or no, this is the strategic map, it looks like. The material of this map is really interesting. I'm not sure exactly what the material is, but it's like a textured map. It feels nice, and this is the strategic map. So you see northeast, Northern America, Greenland, Iceland, and then Europe over here, and then the other panel of that I didn't unfold, showing the main area of operations. One of the things that this game is going to have is a lot of these training scenarios are going to have these sub maps or smaller maps that you can use. So you see there's this B4 Bavarian option scenario. There's various tracks that support this scenario specifically, and then just panning below, there's a cutout of the full meal deck of the map showing Munich, Augsburg, Regensburg, Nuremberg. Just what you need to play this scenario, basically. What's in bounds for the scenario you can play just on this map, which means you can potentially, depending on how well organized you are with your counters, play a smaller scenario with less table space being taken up. So here we have folded gap, and I'm going to have some challenge of getting this unfolded with one hand, so you'll have to forgive me. Folded gap, and you can see, again, smaller cutout. Here's the other side of it. I'm not going to be able to do all of this at once. There's more. There's a lot of maps here. More of the sea-based map. Here we get into the bigger map now. You can start to see the breadth of Germany being used here, Central Europe, that's a part of the main campaign. And again, it's going to be hard to break out everything here. Maybe if I give you guys a second. All right, sorry about that, guys. Here you can see a much bigger chunk of the map. You can even see the supersized hexes over this. So you can see the Netherlands, parts of France there. There's Paris on the far west end, and then a big chunk of Germany here. And then you can see that this map kind of cuts off. There's an additional part of this map that I could break out, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it right this second. Just zooming in, the terrain, varied terrain, connections between cities and locations, places where you can see icons for air basing. It's all very pretty looking, by the way, too. Very cool. All right. Given this is sort of an unplanned, impromptu unboxing, you can forgive me being a little messy with my execution here, guys, but I did want to get this out. There's a mammoth amount of aid sheets for keeping track of your different air power. I mean, I can't even, I can't look at each one of these. But this just to show B3 North German planes, NATO reinforcements, setup charts to help. There's a whole bunch of these in the box. I mean, hold on, if I just, some more maps. I mean, craziness. I mean, just look how thick of different maps and counter sheet things we have. This is a mammoth amount of stuff. Just as you can see, I'm starting to how much space there is. And then here's the best part, arguably one of the better parts. Here's the counter sheets. You can see they've got the sort of pre-rounded punch-through counters. That means there's going to be a little bit of nubs on the top, left, right, and bottom side. But each one of these is basically going to be real easy to punch out. Don't have to worry about counter clipping. They're all decent sized counters too, which makes this nice. So there's, let's see, that's 2 counter sheets there. And then there's a huge stack of counter sheets otherwise. Those are all counter sheets. But again, this is, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 20 some counter sheets. They're all going to be really easy to bust through. And this is a very, deep box, I should point out. And so after I won this prize, and while I was hanging out and relaxing a bit in the hotel room here, I did order the Cube for Me counter tray set that should fit everything back in the box. So hopefully when those arrive here in a couple weeks, I'll punch this game and get it organized and show you guys the aftermath of that. But I'm going to try to get everything back in the box even now and continue on in the Game On fun. But yeah, guys, Red Strike, an unexpected addition to my collection due to luck and fortunate circumstances, and we'll be getting to play this. I hope do some training scenarios in the very near future for all the fun that will be. I expect it'll be a good one. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was enjoyable. It's enjoyable for me. See you in the next one. Take care. Keep gaming.